Good morning, Dan. Saturday, February the 11th. Exactly. There we go. I've got, it's been about a week since I've made a video. I've got lots to tell you about, so I'm going to try to break this up into chunks while I'm working around the house today. And the first thing, of course, I want to talk about is swimming. But before I get to swimming, how is your house coming? I'm assuming you're back in it. I've not seen any updates lately. Obviously, you've fallen down on your job of video making, but I'll let it slide this time. And I've been working on my place, so I'll probably upload a video a little later today showing what we've done here. But again, so first thing we're talking about is swimming. I think the last time I talked to you about swimming, you and Nikki told me to suck it up and deal with it. So I went and talked with Eric Lindquist, the St. Mary swim coach, about my experience at the meet. And one of the questions he had for me was, what's my training been like over the last year? How have I been preparing? And so I told him I'm swimming. I told him the kind of lifting I'm doing. I'm lifting 3 times a week, getting lots of reps and low weight, and that I'm, trying to swim, 20,000 yards a week. And that rather than focusing on any particular event, I'm just trying to keep at that level. He thinks that was part of the problem at the meet, was that there were a couple of things going on. 1, maybe some overtraining. 2, definitely the wrong kind of lifting. And 3, not having any focus or any cycles in the training at all. So as to the lifting, he said, rather than doing the low weight, high reps, you should be doing just the opposite. You should be doing high weight, low reps. Maybe 3 sets, maybe 5 to 7 reps each, in order to build strength rather than endurance. He said, essentially what you've been doing is whenever you're lifting, you are duplicating or triplicating what you're doing in the pool, and all you're doing is just wearing yourself out. The other thing he started talking about was training cycles. And when you have an event, let's say you're focusing on, that's going to occur in April, and your cycle starts in October maybe, that what you're going to do is you're going to build up, so essentially your cycle is going to look like it's going to look something like that. Can you see that? Without the writing coming through. Where you're building up. And then what you're doing is you're actually then, once you get here, you're going to drop back down to that focus event. So what you're doing is you're going to build up like a normal cycle, and then you're going to, but during that period you're going to be building in intensity. So you're going to be building in yards until you get to whatever your max yards are. So let's say I want to swim, my max is going to be 6,000 yard day. So 6 times 5 is 36,000 yard weeks, 35,000 yard weeks, right in there somewhere. That what you're going to do is you're going to start out somewhere right around 20,000 or maybe 18,000. And you're going to build your way up to that. But also during that period, you're going to have weeks in which you're focusing on certain things. You're going to focus on certain technique issues. You're going to focus on starts. You're going to focus on whatever it is that you need for that particular event you're doing. And then what you're going to do is end up with a 2-week taper. And you're going to end up tapering down to your event. And then at that point, you're going to... Sadie! You're going to literally take... Marcia, can you feed her, please? You're going to literally take 2 weeks off, so it's a full 2 weeks of nothing after you're done. And then you'll start that cycle again. And, you can have 1 cycle years, you can have 2 cycle years, you can have 3 cycle years. You can have, like 12-week or 16-week cycles. But those cycles are important not only for recovery for your body, but recovery for your mind, the sort of the mental recovery of being worn out training for an event. And that's something I've not been doing. What I've tried to do is I've tried to make mine look like that, where I've come up, and then I tried to just keep at that particular level. I've been doing that for almost 9 months now, since I've added the lifting in, and I just worn myself out. So I actually took a full week off, and I swam really lightly. I only swam 3 times this week, 2,000 yard days instead of 5,000 or 6,000 yard days, and I've also lifted twice. But I lifted the way he talked about lifting, which is low reps and high weight for the strength. And now what I'm doing is I'm trying to devise a cycle for myself, and I've had to think about, okay, the last indoor meet is in April. That would be my last chance to swim the 200, but I think that's too soon. And rather than trying to fit myself into a cycle that I don't think is going to work, I'm going to end up I'd rather focus on Trinona. And so maybe what I'll do is I'll have a 3-cycle, a 3-season cycle year, in which I will focus on Trinona. I'll focus on, and then I can focus on the August-September races, and then starting there I can then focus on the indoor races ending in February, so that my focal point will be on February, June, and August, taking a week and a half off or so in between each one. So that's my plan. I got a couple of books. This one, it's awesome, very thick, hardbound. It's a coaching reference, but it's got great information on technique, on swimming cycles. I also got this one. This one is not as good. I find that they are focusing on the top 1% of swimmers in the country, if not the top 0.5% of swimmers in the country. Whereas, this one is more a point of reference for everybody. This one is applicable for the fastest swimmers in the world, frankly. I mean, they've got a couple of sample workouts in here, which are, 8,000 yards in the morning, 8,700 yards in the evening, and you're going to be in the pool for a total of 6 hours a day. That doesn't include all the other stuff you're going to be doing, the dry land workouts. It really is for professional or Olympic athletes at that point. But I found it a great reference for at least the big one, a great reference for technique and stroke technique, and I can bring it in because I told you I started coaching, so I can bring it into the masters group and I can show them things that I'm talking about. One of the things with coaching is I've done it 3 weeks now, so I'm doing it once a week, and Kurt does it the other days of the week. But one thing that I'm trying to do is trying to maximize the amount of swimming that everybody is doing. And so rather than having a single workout for everybody, which really kind of forces us to swim at the slowest pace, if we're all doing it together, what I've done is I've come up with kind of a three-level workout. So I've taken the workouts that I was doing last year during February when I swam that February Fitness where I swam all those yards, and what I've done is I've created. What I do is I put them in Ziploc bags so I can put them right down on the pool deck so everybody can see them in front of them. So what I've done is I've created. You see that? Workout A, workout B, workout C, so that you know, for example, you've got workout A, and one of the swims during the set is, say, 3 by 200, and you can swim 3 sets of 200 yards on 3-minute and 15-second intervals. So if you start at the top of the clock and you swim your 200 and you get done in 2 minutes 50 seconds, you have 25 seconds to rest before you start the next 200. And then for workout B, they're swimming 3 by 150 on 3-minute intervals. So it's slightly less yards, slightly lower interval. So it's 50 less yards and 15 seconds less on the interval. And then workout C, they're swimming 3 by 100 on 3 minutes. So they're swimming 50 less yards again on the same interval time of 3 minutes. And so I built these workouts so that the set is pretty much the same for everybody. It's just the distances and the interval times. The distances are decrease and the interval times increase according to your swimming level. And that way, and I've got times on them all, so they should see when they should be getting done with each set. So that workout A is doing 2,500 yards, or 2,550 on this one. Workout B is 2,100, and workout C is 1,700. So there should be something. So each person who's swimming, and I've got one of these for each lane, so I put it down so that everybody can look at it, so that each person who's swimming can find a workout that's going to challenge them. But what I do is it's up to them. They've got to get in the pool and they've got to swim it. You know, I'm not sitting there beating them with a noodle or anything. But at least it gives them something to work towards. So if they find that workout C was a little slow for them the week before, they can bump up to workout B. But I've also told them, sometimes these interval times are a little short or a little long depending on how you swim. And maybe you're going to do workout B, but you're going to decrease the interval time, or you're going to increase the yardage slightly. But what I'm trying to do is keep them working so that you're not just standing in the pool for a minute and a half, every time you're done with 100 yards, which is counterproductive. You got to keep moving, even if you're swimming more slowly, so that you're always resting about 15 seconds between sets of whatever it is you're doing. 10 to 15 seconds. So it's but I've enjoyed it, and what I found is that I've got people who are pushing themselves up to the next level and trying to meet those interval times. And maybe they find they can't, but again, I just tell them increase those interval times a bit, and give yourself a little extra time. Also, what I'm doing, you've probably seen some of the videos that I've marked as favorites on Taming the Tube on our channel. Well, I'm sending those to the master swimmers as things to look at, to work on when they get to the pool. The most important one is simply this: when you're swimming, if you consider the direction you're going forwards and the direction you're coming from backwards, anytime you're pushing water backwards, your body's going to go forwards, right? I mean, it seems, I know, obvious. It's sort of one of Newton's laws of motion, right? But one of the issues is people are coming in, they're stroking, and they spend half of their arm stroke pushing water down. And if you're pushing water down, your body is going to go up, but it's not going to go forward. And when your body goes up, it slows you down anyway. You're increasing your drag. And so it's and so I'm trying to get them to simply think about it. Think about how it is, rather than thinking about arm mechanics and all the things you do, think about it from the reverse engineering of how is it that I can put my arm in a place that when I stroke, I'm pushing the most water backwards and the least water downwards. That will make me go the fastest with the least effort. So anyway, I've been enjoying it. So we'll see. Once I get this training cycle written for myself, hopefully I'll be starting on Monday, and then focusing on June. So anyway, I've given up the goals of the 200 for this season, and we'll focus on it again for next winter. So anyway, I guess that's my first video. That was a long one, almost 15 minutes. So I am in Winona, and I am, of course, still dead.